Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. I am your host Miguel here with my co-host Charlie. This is episode 40, and welcome back. We are going to be talking about the latest Funko drops, a ton of news and reveals.
And if you're listening on the podcast platforms, make sure you go have it over to our YouTube channel where we have tons of exclusive content. And when you get there, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. All right, now let's chat.
All right, everyone. So like we said in that intro, this is episode 40, which is a big deal for us. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah,
Seeing
it's
episode
crazy.
40.
I know. Time's
Yeah,
flying
so
by.
definitely flying by. It's been fun. It's been great. But this episode, so we don't really have like a topic or anything. We're just strictly going to talk about tons of Funko news. There's been a lot of drops, a lot of rumors out of whatever it is that's coming out within the last, week or two. And figure, let's just run through them. We'll kind of just talk about some stuff that, got us excited and we're more excited about. And we'll kind of start it off with, you can let me know, Charlie, what kind of right off the bat was something that got you.
Something right off the bat that got me hyped was the Blink 182 pop. It was a 3-pack. And it was the
Yeah.
first time Tom was actually featured in Funko Pop form because he doesn't have of the OG pops. It's just a
Yeah.
Mark and a Travis one. And Tom has kind of been like, he left Blink 182 and kind of disassociated himself with it and was just really focusing on Angels, his band Angels and Airwaves. And then word on the street, he added it back to his Instagram. Then this like pop came out and people are like freaking out. Um, the one thing that was super weird about this pop though is everyone made it sound like it was an exclusive to blink182.com. And like I thought it was, I went on there and that sold out instantly in my car. I was like, oh my God. But now it's word on the street, it's just a common and it'll be at like Hot Topic, Amazon, and
Yeah.
whatnot. But I think the pop it's awesome. I mean, it's the one thing that's strange though is Funko seems to be getting really into like nudity in their pops.
Yeah, I know.
Because
It is kind of strange that they
it's
do that.
super weird. So it's just so funny because someone I saw on like one of the Instagram accounts was like, "What's next? Are they going to start making porn star Funko Pops?"
Yeah, no.
But you would never know if you don't take the pop out of the box. But if you were to take it out of the box, you will see all three of their butts. So I
Yeah.
thought it was it's
Yeah, which is
iconic.
funny, and it's
It's iconic.
obviously, yeah, it's known as like that
Yes.
video and everything. So like you obviously know, but it is funny that like it's not the first and most recent pops that have been coming out with like these whole like somewhat nudity and showing butts or blurring things out. And they've been doing it, and I was actually kind of surprised that they've been doing it. But it's funny that you just say that because that was the first thing I saw too. I was like, oh well, they're all definitely probably like completely naked from like
Yeah.
that video. But yeah, it was super cool. I didn't get to grab it like you said when it first initially came out through the site, and then I was like, wow, it really sold out that fast. But yeah, it's not really an exclusive, so it's not out yet anywhere else.
No.
So I'm sure it was kind of a pre-order through the site, anyways. So look out for it. But it's super cool that it is the three of them, and it's the OG band, the originals, and it's sick as a 3-pack. Like that thing is such a perfect 3-pack,
Perfect. Yeah.
and I always thought this back when the Kiss pops came out, that seeing the drummer with his drum set was super cool. So seeing Travis Barker with his
It's
actual
awesome.
drum set, because the other Travis, there is a Travis Barker that comes out individual one, but it's just him. He doesn't
Yep.
have a drum set with him. So and that what's crazy is like I have that pop, and it kind of recently before this drop, maybe a month or so ago, it started spiking in like value. Like it was going up 75, $80,
Yeah, because
which was kind
he's
of
married
weird.
to a Kardashian.
Exactly. And I was like, it's got to be some popularity. And it's literally what I was thinking. I was like, it's probably because he's like so popular now, he's this and that. But it is cool that this one's dropping. So that kind of makes those OG ones even cooler
Yeah,
because
I
now there's
agree.
another version coming out. But definitely awesome. Like that thing was sick. I know when we saw it right away, I was like, this thing's amazing. I know we kind of heard rumors that they would potentially have
Exactly.
some kind of pop, but it was cool to see it. It looks amazing. The mold is definitely awesome. So for sure, that was another thing that I got excited for. But one of the biggest things that I was so hyped for, and it's a pretty big line. Well, it's already an enormous line, but it's just in addition to that line, it's a brand new season that had just recently come out. Is the Stranger Things wave?
Yeah, amazing.
We got a huge wave. We've been getting it. A few weeks back, we started getting some of the new season 4 drops, and we got all the kids and all the normal ones. We got the 2-pack with Hopper, which we thought that was super cool, and Joyce and stuff, and we're like, oh my god. And we both said to each other, we're like, why is there not a Vecna pop? Like, that needs to be out.
Yeah.
We knew it would come out eventually. Maybe it would be a con pop, whatever. And it wasn't, but we finally got one. And it's like there was a it's a multi-pack,
Yep,
but
it's a
do they also have them individually as well? Are they doing that whole thing again? They're
they
redoing it as an individual and
they're
a three
doing
pack,
that
right?
again. Yeah. So Walmart has a 3-pack. And then they're all individual as well.
Okay.
It's
That's what I
weird.
thought, but it's annoying that they do that. The Walmart, I mean, as a 3-pack, I think it's awesome because it just like looks really cool. And then of course it's Robin, Steve, and Vecna. So it's interesting that this is exactly who they chose. Like they obviously could have put an 11 in there, they could have whatever, but it's cool that it's not, in my opinion, being that it's the 3-pack. So
I
you get
agree.
the three of them. Then you got more pops that came out individually. Like you got another 11 with like a different outfit. You got a Mike with a different outfit. Then you got what I'm assuming
Wait,
because it
I
looks
don't
kind
think
of
there is a
terrible.
new 11 pop.
Yeah, yeah. There's her holding on to the little what are the name of those things where you build like a little 3D house
Oh
or
my
3D
God, you're right.
scene.
I didn't even notice that one. That's what that is when she's in school
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
bullied.
Oh, she's in
Oh,
school. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then they got the sister. They got Lucas' sister, and then Mike, where he's wearing like that ridiculous
yeah,
outfit. And he's got the flowers. So like
ridiculous.
that's a pretty cool one.
The
Then we
Argyle one
got
is,
Argyle, yep,
yeah,
which is awesome. His outfit is super cool. And then we got the which I'm assuming is like the demo bats, right? Is that
yep.
what that's supposed to be? It
I think
doesn't
that,
look that good.
I think that's what that's supposed to be. Yep.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what it is because of the season. And then we got the Vecna one, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I was so excited for Vecna, and I couldn't believe, like finally we're gonna get one. And then I got to see it, and I hate the mold, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, I really, really hate
Me too.
what
I'm
they
like,
did, and I'm confused on how they couldn't pull off a better mold. Like they have some pretty detailed pops that you're like, holy crap, they look exactly like this person, his character, whatever it may be. And being that he's not even like a human and that you can totally make it, more detailed than what they did. I just don't get how they have this like bald spot on the top of his head and then like in the front, because when you see a picture of him, he never looks like that. So I was like really confused by that. Like,
I
I don't
can
know, man. It looks weird.
I completely agree with you. That's the first thing I thought. And now I wasn't thinking about this until right now. Like, I wonder if like this pop was like made and they held it in the to be in wave 2 and like the design changed. Or it's
That
really
yeah, it
like
could be.
it's very
Or it's
unlike
a very
Funko
early
to be,
concept or something, and that's what
yeah,
they got to use.
yes, it's very off. Like the coloring for his character never really looked like that either.
Nope.
It just doesn't look like him at all.
Yeah, yeah, the color completely off, and like the texture to me is just what's weird because like we've seen, I mean, they've made pops where you can like see texture in a thing, and like Vecna's very like bumpy and veiny and like all that kind of stuff, and you
Yeah,
get
it's
nothing out of it. He looks
nothing.
more like an animal, if anything. It's kind of weird in my opinion, but I mean, I'm glad they had it. It's kind of a cool pose. I was thinking we would get one of him kind of like up in the air or like, a little bit more dynamic, I guess you could say, than this, but maybe they'll drop another one. Like I'm assuming it's probably not the only one they're gonna do, I
I
would
would hope.
think.
It's so
Um,
funny though. I'm just like I'm on my phone right now because I'm looking it up. So
yeah.
there's like an action figure coming out, not made by Funko, and it looks exactly the same as the pop. So I wonder if that is
Really?
his design that were sent out to toy makers beforehand. It's got the same head, the same coloring.
That's
It's
so
weird.
strange because it really doesn't like if you know the show, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's
And
Vecna,
maybe
but
it's just
like
because of
not
the
really.
lighting in the show. and like it's just so dark every time you saw him. Maybe that's what he's supposed to actually look like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like we said, it's just weird for Funko to be like that off.
Yep. I was really surprised. Like I really was like excited for it, and then you see everything else, and it's like I said, the demo bat, whatever you want to call it, that's not the greatest either. But all the characters, the rest of the kids and all that, they look amazing. Their outfits are always great, colors
I
and
mean,
everything. But
the
then,
winner of this line to me is the pop ride. I think that pop
yeah,
is amazing, and weirdly, Target I feel like hasn't been selling out their pre-orders that much recently. This like sold out before I even got a chance to like click on the link immediately when Distrackers like put it up.
yeah.
So I mean, it just shows the popularity of the show, obviously, and the line. Like people are clearly collecting these lines.
Yeah, I mean, this line's been around for a while. Every season they come out with big waves, and this is another one. And like, yeah, adding a ride to it is cool. Like, I mean, if you watched it, the Argyle and the Surfer Boy pizza, like just that whole thing was an
It's
awesome like
awesome.
part of the show. So like that's a great one. And I mean, that's not even the only thing. Like that was a crazy wave and a bunch of stuff. And we also got a Target exclusive 2-pack, which is also pretty sick with
Yeah.
both Nancy and Robin when they both get all dolled up and dressed
And that's
up
a
to
true
go.
2-pack. Only way you can get them.
Awesome, which that is what it should be. Which I
Yes.
know we both kind of went back and forth when the Hopper and Joyce came out that we were like, oh, this is awesome. It's going to be a 2-pack. And I remember mentioning to you, and I was like, is it coming out as a 2-pack and individual? Because I did see them individually. And you're like, no, 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 it's a 2-pack. It's a 2-pack. And it's literally not even either one. It's two individual ones that they gave you together to be a 2-pack. And I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, bro.
Which
Like
is dumb.
that was a miss on there. And but I mean the line is huge and it's continuing to come out with more. And I mean we both are obviously huge Stranger Things fans, so definitely excited to get that. I know for a while I was collecting most of Stranger Things and then I kind of slowed down in season 3. But now that season 4 came out, I was like, damn, I gotta get some of these. Like I actually have 3 to 4 boxes back here of Stranger Thing pops that I haven't done a video for because I've been trying to just wait for them all to get here, and it's like majority of this damn season. So
That's amazing.
definitely excited for that though.
Another thing that I was pretty excited for is they actually announced new advent calendars for the holiday time, and they've never had a Star Wars one. I've always wanted them to make one, and this year they finally did. Um, these are fun. Like I love doing these. I've grown up doing advent calendars. I do them with my son, and
Mm-hmm.
they also made a Marvel one, which they've made in the past, and I think this year they also have a Harry Potter one, and they've leaked a Disney one. It didn't get announced officially with these three for some reason, but it looks like that's going to be the 4 that they do this year. They typically do Harry Potter. They've, like I said, they did
Yeah.
Marvel. They did it for like the 80th anniversary. I think this is the first time their characters are all going to be like they're Christmas mini pops. They're not like in the past, they haven't been like Christmas themed. They've just been the small mini ones. Like last year, they had a Pokemon one. There was like nothing
Yeah.
Christmas about it. Like I had that one, but these, I just think these are fun. These are cool. And a lot of the molds, at least looks like for the Star Wars ones, are like going to be unique for this calendar. So I thought those were
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Which they definitely are like pretty cool. And then the Marvel one looks like it's got a couple of the redone
Yes.
bigger popped ones, like the gingerbread one, the Groot, which is funny. That Groot one, which was a holiday Groot one that I forgot where it dropped, but I actually have that regular size pop and I made it into an ornament.
Which
Like
is
I
cool.
glued on like a thing on the top and like I we actually hung it in the tree. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, the Advent calendars is awesome, and and it's cool that they're coming out with a few different ones and some newer ones, like you said, Star Wars ones being one of them that you haven't really seen. So that's awesome, um, for them to finally be coming out with those for sure. Uh, so Funko Shop themselves has been dropping a lot of exclusives, or at least we're getting what's gonna be coming out as a Funko Shop exclusive. I know for a little while we were saying like, there wasn't too many Funko Shop exclusives coming out. Like what's going
Yeah.
on? There haven't been like, really any good ones. But we do have a few that released and a few that are said to be released. So one that did release was we did get the Flocked Socks, which is the little cat character from Lightyear,
Which is
which is
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, super, super cool character. And the flock on those always looks great. So it's like cool to see. I actually ordered that. It's funny.
I
Like
I
randomly.
want that. I didn't order it, but I want to get it.
Yeah, I was there. I was randomly on the site and I ordered. It's funny. I ordered that and I ordered two Mets pops. How about that, huh? The Scherzer and Lindor, which are on there now on
Amazing
Funko Shop.
to
And I
go
was
with
like,
your
come on.
David Wright.
I gotta get these guys. And the Scherzer one, I don't have the original one where he has two different color eyes. So like, I don't have the Nationals one. I was like, I gotta at least have this one. But I got those, and then I think it was four pops total that I grabbed. I can't remember what the other one was, but one of them was the flock socks. I was like, you know what, let me get it. It's definitely a cool one. So that one did drop, and then a couple of things that are being announced to be dropping. We're gonna get another Michael Jordan, Funko Shop exclusive. I believe it was kind of hard to tell in the picture, but I believe is when he's wearing 45.
It
So
is.
it's not like a 23,
Have they
I
not made one of
believe,
those
right?
yet? It's a
They
45.
do have one, I think. Yeah, I think they do
Yeah,
have one already. It's
I'm
just a
trying to see
different
what's the
like
difference of
mold.
it. Okay.
It's definitely a different like pose. Like his pose is different.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily exactly the same. But it's completely kind of off topic, but it's funny that we bring this up, and I just thought about it now as I was saying this out loud. But when we get like sports pop specifically, but a lot of other pops, when we get different colors or different versions, it's usually the same mold, and they'll just kind of change it, paint out, whatever. For the Michael Jordan one, they do change it up a lot. Like you do have a couple standard ones where he's just standing with the ball and it looks like a regular sports pop, but there's ones where he's like dunking or where he's like moving. But they
No, you're
do
right. They do.
have different dynamic molds, which is pretty cool because this one is definitely different. Like this pose specifically, you haven't seen because you never do see where the numbers kind of covered up. Like you usually see him with his arms up.
Yep.
So that is a cool one. There's going to be another Black Adam Funko Shop exclusive that's going to be coming out, which pretty cool looking pop. And he's got like the lightning or
it
whatever.
looks cool, but it's a random. It's the comic book version. Like I'm
Yeah. I was
surprised
gonna say it's
it's
not
not the
the
movie.
ones we were getting like from the Rock basically. Um, but another one that's gonna be coming out, and then we also have the Derek Jeter pop. So finally, so we did talk about this, but now we actually got to see the mold. And I don't think when we first spoke about this, we knew this was going to happen, but there is a chase
We didn't.
for this one. So this is cool because for sports pops, not gold, obviously Funko Gold all has chases, but sports pops there's not too many with chases.
No.
Usually we'll get, which is cool because I mean they'll usually do like a home jersey or an away jersey, but they're separate pops or different waves that they come out in. And then this time it's going to be him normal. It's in the pinstripes, and then the chase is same thing, same outfit, but he's like dirty. He's got like dirt on him and stuff, which is pretty cool. They've never done that with
No,
any
I
of
thought it
the
was
like
cool. It was
baseball
unique.
pops.
No.
Yeah, so
It
does it look like great dirt? Not really. It's kind of like putty on them or something, but but it's still cool at least that it's
because
different.
yeah, because
And
you wouldn't really like, yeah, you're right. Like I didn't think about it. That is not how your jersey would look if you like
no,
slid in the dirt.
yeah, it would be like a big thing on the front or maybe down his leg or whatever, but it's literally like a couple splatter marks. So it's funny, but it's cool that at least they're attempting something like that. And being like that it's in his Funko Shop exclusive, being that, obviously my excitement for the fact that it's Derek Jeter and we're finally getting that pop. Because it's actually hilarious, Charlie, that we both, when we were talking about, I'm pretty sure it was during our actual sports episode, that like the two pops that were like, why the hell don't they need a Jeter, they need a David Wright,
I
and
know.
they dropped two of them like
It's
not too
weird.
long after. So so it's funny that we're finally getting stuff that we, because I mean it was so obvious. We weren't talking about random people like, why don't they
No.
have this guy? Like, no, we're talking about like big names. So at least they're getting those out of the way. Finally, we're getting those. And
It's
then the
funny though. I want to
last
ask you a question while we're talking about the Derek
guy,
Jeter pop. Do you think that pop will like sell out or it'll just sit in the store?
I think it's gonna I think it's gonna sit in a store, but I think it's gonna sit there because they're probably gonna make so many. And I think they are gonna try to maximize on the fact that he's a popular player, he's a New York Yankee, so like in general, it's gonna be a bigger fan base and whatever. But I think they're just gonna make so many of them. I don't see it. And now maybe because it's the chase, maybe more people kind of go after it. Maybe they'll buy more. So maybe it will sell because people will try to get two or three or four instead of just one. But I don't know. I have a feeling it's gonna sit only because sports pops in general don't do the best, and because like I think they're just gonna make
No,
a
makes sense.
shitload
I
of
mean,
them.
that's what I was thinking. It's just funny because like we've talked in the past, like we feel like the Funko Shop exclusives sit there, but then it's
Hmm.
like, oh, I want to go get the Moon Knight pop because I'm like, it's been sitting there and it's in my cart, it's sold out. And it's just like, it's just so weird when things actually do sell out there now. It's just like, did they decide to pull it off the website or did it like truly sell out? It's
Yeah,
just it's just interesting to me.
because it'll sit for a while and then a random day it'll just like
Yeah,
sell
it's
out.
just gone.
Yeah. So who knows? I guess maybe that's just people buying it over time, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. There's not a an official date yet, so it's kind of like I think it has a notify me button on it, so you can check to see when it does come out. But that's definitely something I'm gonna try to grab. I'm hoping to grab as soon as I can if when it does come out. And then the last Funko Shop exclusive that is going to be coming out. Well, if you guys are listening to this, obviously we drop the podcast very early in the morning. So if you're listening on your way to work or whatever, 12:30 our time Eastern,
Yep.
9:30 on the West Coast, which will be Monday. If you're listening to us, like I said, or if you're watching us, we already came out. If anything, hopefully you were able to grab it. But there is going to be the Frodo invisible soda. So this is the invisible version of him where he basically has like the cloak, the ring on when not the cloak, he puts a ring on, and it makes him invisible. And it's pretty sick. I mean, the
Yeah,
soda is
it's cool.
like super clear, like it looks like a piece of glass almost, which is really cool because we've gotten like the blue iridescent style sodas and stuff, but we've never gotten anything like truly clear like this. I do think there's a few pops that they make like this. I know there's like a John Cena one,
There is. They
like with
make
this whole
this in
like
a pop.
clear. Okay, so this one doesn't have a pop.
Yep.
So we've seen them in pops. I haven't really seen them in soda, so that's cool to see it. I don't think if we know for sure if this has a chase or not. I think we were saying we don't think it does,
Yeah,
right?
I
I
don't
think
think
it's
it
just an
does.
exclusive.
It's just an
It's a
exclusive.
10,000 piece, which would make sense if it's invisible. What are you gonna do for the chase, whatever? That's perfectly fine. But yeah, that's another one that's pretty cool. So that's gonna be like a Funko Shop exclusive as well. But like we're getting a lot of them. So like I said, we got stuff coming and then we got stuff that's already been dropping. And so far it's been some pretty exciting stuff or things that look pretty cool. Um, but I know specifically, I don't know if you want to bring up the Michael Jordan, the other pop that I know there's another one. So like
Yeah.
in the same kind of realm, we did get something else which was also kind of cool and exclusive and not normally what Funko's been doing, which is
Yeah. So
the
it was
upper
on
deck one, right? Is that
it was
who's
Upper Decks. It has an exclusive Upper Deck sticker, and then it's from. I mean, I know you got it. It's from a new web. It's like a website that Upper Deck is managing, but it's
yeah.
supposedly I think just recently launched. I think this is the first Funko Pop that they've sold. They sell all their collectibles, um, but it looks like it's coming in like a case that would be kind of like a graded card. Like correct? Is
Yeah,
that's what?
yeah, like a slab.
Yeah,
Yeah, like a
it's
slab.
it's super cool. It's
But
super
but instead of
unique.
being flat, it's in actual, which we've actually seen, which I think JSA, I believe, is the one that you can actually like get pops basically graded,
Yeah,
and that's
PSA.
what they put them in. So yeah, PSA. So you could put them in like when you get a
Which
card.
that's brand new.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
yeah,
because they've never really done that or had that option, I'm assuming. But now obviously the popularity of Funko Pops, I'm sure, and the values and stuff some of these have, it's a cool thing. Like it looks like a hard stack. The only difference is, and it'll look similar to like the card slabs, is the very bottom is kind of just like a acrylic piece, and a pop will sit a little bit higher. And then
yep,
at the bottom, I believe it'll say what it is or whatever it might be. But this one, yeah, like you were saying, this is an exclusive through this site, which it seems like it's a card site mostly, like mostly for like trading cards and maybe NFTs, like things like that. Collectible stuff in that end, but not Funko Pops. But this was like one of the first ones. And I remember hearing that this was a pop that was gonna come out, but I didn't know it was through this like site or that it
yeah.
was coming in a box. I just knew that this version of Michael Jordan was going to be releasing, which if you guys haven't seen it, it's him in the number 12, which
Which is
was,
cool.
which is really really rare, cool thing because we all know like there was this one game that was the only jersey they got from him. It was number 12, doesn't even have a name on the back. So that whole story is awesome, but the fact that we were just talking about Michael Jordan, how many different poses and all these things he's doing now, he's got another version of him in a different jersey. We still don't have the Barons one, like you were saying that we should have of him, his
No.
minor league version.
Or even a
But
Wizards. Like I'm surprised
yeah,
they haven't
or
made that.
Wizards, which the Wizards one, it would be, yeah, because I mean, like And I feel like there probably will be because we have him from college all the way up to all his different jerseys that he wore. Um, but it is a cool one, and I think it's cool that it's in that stack box. So like,
It
hopefully when
looks
that does come
super
in, which
cool.
it's starting to come in, I'll see when I get it. Like, I mean, you guys will definitely probably see a video on it. I'll definitely want to see what it looks like in person, or like how that whole little stack thing comes. Like if we can even open it, or like, I don't know. We gotta see how that even works, because no, I don't think anyone has really. I think it's just starting to ship out. So it's definitely something I think is gonna be pretty cool.
I agree. Another big line that they actually announced was for Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. It seems like they now started coming out with like iconic moments from the movies. Like just recently, they had done a big wave where it was just for the Sorcerer's Stone. So now this is the second book slash movie. Um, I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I really like this line. The first one they had like a scene where they were all Target exclusives, and it made Diagon Alley. And now
Mm-hmm.
this one they do Hogsmeade, which I don't think these are exclusives to anywhere. I think they're common. So it's interesting that they changed that up. They have another Hogwarts castle. The first one came with Dumbledore. Now this time it comes with Professor McGonagall. They have Ron in like the flying car, and then they have just a few other
Yeah, that one's cool.
commons. And Funko Shop's gonna have exclusive Harry, which looks awesome. Um, I'm excited for this line. I think it's really cool. One thing I want to bring up though, which I've been wanting to bring up on an episode, but never organically could, but now I can. It's super weird. Funko made absolutely no pops for the latest Fantastic Beasts movie, Secrets of Dumbledore. They've made them for the first two. They made not one pop for it. And I find that to be super weird. I don't
So
know if
they
you're
made it for the first
for
one,
the first
or
two.
were the
This
first
was the
two?
third one. They made no Funko Pops for it. Nothing.
I didn't think about that. Yeah,
I know it's
I
actually
wonder
driven me
why.
crazy. I even though weirdly enough, like I'm a huge fan. I actually hated the movie. But
Oh yeah.
it wasn't very good. But I don't know. It's like very controversial. That series in general, like a lot of hardcore Potter fans like don't like it. Um, a lot of people just don't like J.K. Rowling these days, but it's not like they're not making Harry Potter pops anymore because this is a huge line. I'm just curious if like the Crimes of Grindelwald, which was the second movie in the series, that didn't sell. So they just like, okay, we're not making pops anymore. But I find that just super weird for Funko. Even just to make like I wish they made another Grindelwald pop that wasn't. I mean, I love Johnny Depp as the character, but in this movie, he was played by Mads Mikkelsen, and why not like at least just made a new mold of him because he looks completely different. And
Yeah.
there was a few new characters. It's really weird. I don't know if because Ezra
Yeah.
Miller's in that movie. The whole they were just like, let's just stay away. Like we'll never probably know, but
Well, no, because I'm sure Johnny Depp would have been a controversial enough from the last one. They still made him. So
yeah, no, yeah. So it's just like it's weird. And I've
yeah,
been
this
wanting
that
to
is
bring
strange.
that up.
I never thought about, because I guess I've seen like a few pops here and there, and I didn't realize and connect them. And obviously since it is a little bit newer, that movie didn't come out too long ago,
Yeah,
so it is strange that they haven't released or dropped anything. I wonder why. I mean, maybe it isn't selling, but even though, like you said, they would still come out with like
something.
one or two of the main people
I
or
mean,
something
they
like
made
that. Wouldn't
mystery
be.
minis for the last movie, keychains, like t-shirts, like everything.
Yeah,
Like we're
maybe it
yeah,
really didn't do.
yeah. It's just weird not to keep talking about it. It's just I don't know if what I'm curious if your listeners, if you're Harry Potter fans, or what your opinion is on them not making any pops from that movie. But
That's funny. I
um,
wonder. I really wonder what the reasoning is. That, or maybe it'll be one of those that we randomly get later on, because
yeah,
sometimes they are delayed on coming
or
out with
even just
something
like a
way after the hype.
con pop. They that movie always got con pops too, which is super weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's it wasn't like, oh, we don't make pops of this franchise. It's another reason why I just think it's so weird.
that is weird, but I mean, it's still like it's interesting because you go back to, like you said about Harry Potter, like that line is so big, like it's it's funny because Harry Potter Now that we're like mentioning it, because we haven't really talked about too many. I feel like they haven't dropped too many in a while.
No, they
So
haven't.
it is a pretty big wave to come out now. And obviously we're mentioning it. But back when I was like starting collecting Funko and like got into it in the start of it, like Harry Potter pops were everywhere. To me, like Harry Potter was like the biggest pop line besides
It's
seeing like Star
so
Wars here
yeah.
and there and stuff like that, right? Like there was
It
always Harry
is, but it's
Potter
funny you
pops.
say that. So, as like I've mentioned in the past, I've been collecting Funko Pops basically since like they were a thing. And like I just said, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. There were no Harry Potter Pops for a long time.
Oh, okay, so in the
Then
beginning, maybe not, but
and
then
then
it just
all of
went
a
ham on
sudden
the
they got that license and they went ham. You're right. Like
yeah.
they made so many. I do think that's one of the first lines too, where they were like, we're not just going to make a handful of pops per movie or
No, it
property.
was
Let's
every
just make a
character of every
million of them.
movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
So it's funny.
every
That went from like
scene they were
zero to
doing different scenes and different.
yes,
Yeah,
crazy. There's way too
yeah.
many. That's an
Especially
impossible line.
what's it Barnes and Noble. Like if you went into a
Yep.
Barnes and Noble, there was an
Uns.
entire section of just Harry Potter pops alone. Like that's how intense it was. And that was when I kind of started my collecting. I think was when it was in the heat of like, wow,
Yeah.
Harry Potter pops are everywhere. Like I actually have a couple random, you probably can't even see them. They're right there.
No, you
There's the
can't.
three of them with the those I can't even think of the name where they pull them out of the ground. They
Oh, I know you're
screaming.
talking about. Yep. That's like a
There's the
3 pack.
three of them. Yeah, it's a 3 pack where they have like the little earmuffs
I
on or
think that's a
whatever. Yeah,
Barnes
there's
Noble
the three.
exclusive.
It's the three of them. They're over here somewhere.
Yeah,
They're this way.
it's being blocked by your
Um,
mic.
yeah. Though those are like the only ones I think I have, and I think I had gotten random ones in mystery boxes here and there, and I got rid of them, or I gave them to like one of my cousins, a big Harry Potter fan and stuff. But yeah, I mean, at least we're getting more of them. That line's coming out. It's kind of cool that they're going back to older movies too and
Yeah,
everything, and like there's enough movies, enough scenes, enough characters that they can kind of continue to come out with more and more on this line. We had some soda news, not too much because I feel like there hasn't been a big. I just
there
started thinking
hasn't
about it and
been
I was like, there hasn't been a big drop of sodas, right? I remember we would do these episodes, and every time we would do an episode, there was like six to
so
eight that were
many.
just recently released, and we're like, oh my god, look at this new line. And even like rumored wise, it's been pretty quiet on the soda front, which is it's kind of interesting. It's a little scary, but maybe it's because they went so hard because we were getting sodas like
They went too
crazy.
hard.
Yeah, and maybe now they're kind of like, all right, let's fall back, and then I'm sure fall time or whatever we'll get more. But we did get an official look at Fix It Felix, which we already have a Wreck-It Ralph. We kind of assumed already we were
Yep,
going to get a Fix It Felix. I'm sure. Looks super cool.
it's
Looks awesome.
amazing.
Looks just like I'm from the from the movie and everything. So it looks great. It's like that style, just like the Wreck-It Ralph one
He's like
is.
the perfect
Uh,
size too. Like I feel like that
literally,
character is made for soda.
which is so cool. And it's funny that the Wreck-It Ralph one though is like a heavy
He's
duty
soda.
soda. Like that guy is so big and like it makes sense. He's a solid figure and he's obviously supposed to be like bigger, but they can only make him certain size in the soda. But that one was definitely a cool one. Finally getting some kind of soda news. We also did get the only other soda news I guess you could say is this was kind of like a rumor. But we're getting rumors of some Lord of the Rings, more Lord of the Rings stuff. So obviously we got like the Frodos and the Bilbo Baggins, like those dropped and cons and stuff. But I saw a couple rumors of a few. Actually, let me see the actual characters. So there's a couple pops and a couple sodas that are rumored to be coming out from Lord of the Rings. So there is I'm probably gonna mispronounce a bunch of these, but Shelob or Shelob,
Yeah,
whatever. It's a 6-inch one. So that I think that's the like giant like spider.
spider. Yep.
Yeah. So there's like a 6-inch version of him, super cool looking. Then we got Battle Ewan. I don't know.
Yeah,
It looks like
you're getting
one of
there.
the guys with a chase. We got a Bilbo Baggins and then a Sauron Funko Soda. So that's gonna be pretty sick. Then we got an Arwen Funko Soda. That's like a con exclusive, supposedly. There's a Gandalf like moment. So there's a few different ones, another Smeagol. So a couple exclusives. So those are gonna be some pretty cool ones. Lord of the Rings, obviously. I wonder if they're trying to like get these out now that the new like
Show's
show
coming
is going to
out.
be coming out. So maybe that's why they're kind of calling them back because obviously these movies are very old. They've been a long time since we
An
gotten anything
anniversary
in the
must be coming
Hobbit
up.
or Literal World. Oh yeah, at this point, you probably is 2025 type of year anniversary because it's been a while since Lord of the Rings for sure, and then even Hobbit, which came out after, even that's been a long time. But
Yeah.
we started getting these sodas, which was like, oh, that's interesting. They're coming out with some of these sodas and stuff. And I feel like there isn't like thinking back, there's not too many pops in these, like from back a long time ago, right?
No,
Maybe a couple random OG ones.
yeah, it's like a decent sized line. You would think it'd be bigger for Lord of the Rings. Like I
Yeah.
have a few of them. They have like all the main characters, but like they
Yeah.
have one and like that's it.
Like one of each one, yeah.
Yeah.
So at least we're getting some more. I'm sure with this show coming, we'll get some more on that. And I wonder if this is like what Funko does, like okay, something new comes out, a prequel, a new show, whatever it may be, and then let's call back to the old stuff. Because that makes me think like now with all this new Game of Thrones stuff coming out, like
Yep.
are we gonna get some more OG Game of Thrones pops kind of random characters coming out as well? Which actually we kind of did. We got that random line which had like Daenerys and
Yeah, that was for
Drogo.
that was for
That was
like
an anniversary one.
anniversary. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, which was like a random like we started getting a couple more of those, and then now we
It's
got
funny though.
the con drop for the new one. There's been two, I think, right, for this new show. The
There's
con
one for the con. There's going to be a Funko Shop exclusive one
Focus
of
Shop
Matt
exclusive
Smith's
one, yeah.
character, but they've announced like you can pre-order that line for the House of Dragon.
Oh, okay.
But it's just funny you bring that up about Lord of the Rings. I'm surprised there aren't any pops for the new show. I mean that's coming out
Yeah,
like very soon. And I mean I find that interesting because
yeah, and we've
there's
gotten a trailer, so it's not like
yeah,
there like really need to be anything like a spoiler. Like they can kind of drop a couple things. So
yeah, unless they're
I
like
wonder how
not
that works.
sure if they're gonna make them, if it's gonna be like I'm trying to think like I think though is the boys the only Amazon like show that they make pops of. That I mean, that's one of
Uh
the most popular
I don't know.
shows.
I was actually gonna ask you because I had forgotten where the Lord of the Rings was. So that's good. It's an
It's
Amazon.
on
It's
Amazon.
Amazon
Yeah,
Prime exclusive.
yeah,
Um, Probably. I
yeah.
mean, like
Like so, they may not even
show
have.
wise, you don't have like big names. Like The Boys is a big
Yeah,
name show, but I don't think there's too many
I
others
think they made
anyways for them to
Invincible
even.
Pops, which is another. It's like an animation superhero show on Amazon. I'm
Yeah,
just thinking because maybe they don't even have like the rights for the new Lord of the Rings show because that the rights for that was
exactly. Yeah.
sold. Amazon bought them from MGM. Um, even though it's so
So
funny, I
that could
was
be it.
so excited for that show, but the trailers look okay, not enough that I don't want to watch it. But there was an article that just came out that, like, in the beginning of production, they asked Peter Jackson for his help, and then they just ghosted him. They said they were going to
Really?
send him scripts, ask for his feedback, and he was just doing an interview recently. It's like, yeah, they left me on like read. I like
So
never
he has
responded.
like no part in this?
No part in it, and
That makes it bad.
yeah, it makes it real bad. And I'm like, not
I think.
Amazon is probably pissed that he just said that, like,
Oh, of
legitimately
course.
less than a
I'm
month
sure
before the premiere.
it'll definitely, yeah, hurt their premiere and how it comes out. But I think I was also excited. Like, I love Lord of the Rings, whatever. But like, I was excited to hear about it. Like, oh, it's going to be coming out. And even the trailer, like, watching, I was like, okay, this is going to be pretty cool. Like, it's just kind of cool to get back. It was very slow. You don't get too many of the battles and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, is it going to be like, what's the story going to be? But I think the one thing that kind of like got me not as excited is that it's going to be a show. I kind
Okay.
of would have been more excited, I think, if they did a movie or a couple movies and they made it more like that. Um, just because that's when you think of Lord of the Rings or Hobbit, let's say both of them, and that you think of like grand and Peter Jackson, of course. So like you think of all this big thing, but
Yeah.
if it's like not like that, this might like as opposed to House of Dragons, which was a Game of Thrones show, like my mindset's already like, okay, this is gonna get and hearing all the money and everything they're putting into that because
I
it seems
think
like they're
this
gonna go
show,
ham on this show.
I think
I
the Lord of the
think
Rings
that's
show is
gonna
one of the
crush
most
it.
expensive shows ever made. So it
Wow,
definitely has a
really?
lot of money into it. Yes. They paid a lot
So
of
I
money for
wonder
these
if
rights, but they're
But see, I wonder
also,
exactly. I wonder where's that money going to? Like a big part was probably the rights.
yep.
And
And
is it
I
going to
think
be like super CGI driven? Like,
yeah, it
like
looks very
how's that going to go?
stylized. Yeah. And, but
Yeah.
it's also, it's a new prequel story that I think has been made. It's just a new story. They've also have taken a lot. This doesn't bother me, but they've taken a lot of liberties with like the Tolkien lore, to make it more, modernized for our society.
Mm,
Which I know, like, there's a lot of like Tolkien fans who are basically like, screw this show. Which I think that's ridiculous. Like, okay, we have like the original movies, like we have the books, like they want to make a new show, like the this family sold the rights, like whatever. Like I think they're more than welcome to make a
yeah.
new
But I
fun
do
show.
think it's interesting when, especially specifically, no matter what kind of show it is, when they do prequels and they try to modernize it. Like to me, it just doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense for this,
Like
yeah,
you're
when you
doing a
say that,
prequel, like you don't need to fit into like what's like today's age. Like not that they're gonna be, you know, in today's age, technology and all that kind of stuff. That's not what I mean. But like Charlie hinting towards some certain things that probably like wouldn't in the original one, even if it was a prequel or that day, it wouldn't have existed because now our time is so different now, who knows, whatever. But not to go off and rant about
no,
that, but
no,
like,
no,
yeah,
yeah.
I think that's a little like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I mean, obviously Funko wise, we don't have anything. So it's not even like we're going to talk about that yet unless we get some drops. But it is like that fantasy world that, still we're big fans of, and specifically like other shows that were, came from that movies and whatever. Um, but
I
yeah,
got
that'll be something pretty cool.
I got another thing that I'm super pumped about. I mean, it hasn't been officially announced, but someone leaked it because it was been found in a Disney store in the UK. But they continuously are doing with the 50th anniversary line for Walt Disney World, and they have like a Tower of Terror pop, which
Yes.
looks amazing. Like that's one of my favorite rides. As
Yeah,
everyone, I'm a
Mickey. It's got Mickey
hardcore
right
like
next to
Disney
the
parks guy. Yeah, and yeah, it's. I kind of wish he wasn't gold, but they're sticking with the gold theme for the anniversary. Like I wish it was just kind of Mickey wearing like the Tower of Terror like butler type outfit.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but beggars can't be choosers. This pop is awesome. I think it's so cool.
Yeah,
And
it
I'm
looks
assuming
awesome,
they're
and
going
even
to
the
make it
picture
for like
out of the
all the
box
iconic
looks.
rides. Yeah, you got to take
Well,
like,
they
sorry,
did some, didn't they? No, sorry, I was gonna say, didn't they
they came out
already
with the
the
Space
Space
Mountain
Mountain, right?
one. Yep, they came out with Space Mountain one, and obviously it's not a ride, but we just got like the castle.
Mhm.
I'm assuming we'll get like an Epcot one and like the
Yeah,
Tree of Life from Animal Kingdom to kind of like round out the parks. But
yeah,
this is, and to me, like, I'm gonna take this out of the box. In
Oh, the out of box looks sick.
Yeah, it looks so sick.
Like I agree with the whole gold thing. It's like, all right, like it's funny, like Funko probably when they heard that Disney was doing this, anniversary and it was gonna last longer than a year because this
Yes.
anniversary has been and Disney said it, like we're gonna
Yep.
do this all the way through to the next year, whatever. And like Funko probably was like, oh, awesome, we can, milk this out continuously throughout the year and keep dropping more and more rather than like a big wave, which they did kind of initially, but yeah, we're getting more little ones sprinkled in here and there. But yeah, it's super cool, even though like I agree. I don't think the gold is like the best looking, like they could have done a different type of mold or whatever for Mickey. But just seeing the tower house hotel, like that thing is so cool. Like
So
just out
cool.
of box, it looked awesome in the picture that we saw drop. But then there was also speaking of Disney and rumors, or at least this is like a leak. Supposedly, we're getting our look at one of the first NYCC pops that has like
Yeah.
leaked. Nothing's official yet. It's a Clarabelle cow, which I know you got excited for because it's one of those OG Disney characters.
Yeah, we're sending a
We do
soda
have
in.
Clarabelle cow and a soda. Yep, which we got the colored and the black and gray version as a chase. So like super cool. It's NYCC, but there are a lot of talks out there that maybe is this real, is it fake, or even if it's not and it is real, like the sticker being
The
very
same as
similar,
last
if not
year.
the same as last year, but with a different year on it.
And I know I had
So
pointed out we were
that's kind of
talking about
interesting.
before. I think it's weird, and I know because Meg's corrected me before. It doesn't always say Disney on the box, like under pop, like how we'll say movies or television, but like I don't understand why they didn't just smack the Disney logo, which they now like. I know I wasn't saying this before, we're talking offline, but like that's what's on the top of the pop, and then Clarabelle cows on the bottom. Like, I think it's weird that they did like a Clarabelle cow, like, you know, font from like the like OG cartoons
Yeah.
as the name of the pop, as if it's a line.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say is
It's
the show. She
weird.
never had like a show, right? The
No,
show wasn't called Clarabelle Cow, right? Because
no.
that's normally what would be at the top. Like it would be the name of the type of show, or whatever it was. So that is kind of a little bit
Like
thrown
if
off.
she has her own, like, then Mickey should. Like, if you think of it that
Yeah,
way, it's like when a Mickey Mouse new pop comes out, it should say Mickey Mouse, like not Disney. I know they've made special ones. It's just
yeah. Like
weird.
those anniversary ones that say Mickey or whatever. But
Exactly.
it
Still an
was,
awesome pop if you're a Disney collector. It's
yeah.
just I
If
don't
it's real and it's legit
understand.
and it's coming out as a con, like definitely a cool one, but I don't know. We'll see. Like again, this is just a picture that we've seen. So at least the pop exists. It's somewhat, I guess, real, but who knows? It could be fake, because we always someone can totally make up some of these. But that was like one of the only NYCC ones that we've
That's
kind of
leaked.
finally getting leaks. We'll probably get some more soon because obviously NYCC will be in October, which isn't too far away. And then we should be getting FunCon reveals soon, though, because that will be
Yeah.
coming sooner.
It's like
So I believe,
con.
like, yes, all the time. So I think that's like within the next week is like the rumor that like we'll start getting those leaks, and then obviously Funko will officially start dropping. Usually they do them pretty back to back. For the most part, like the leaks will kind of come out, and then Funko will start spitting them out themselves,
I
anyways.
think they've said
So I wonder what they're gonna.
officially it's coming out this week. Like they're
Okay, so
announcing the
then they are
pops.
they are announcing the pops. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So that is something to look out for this week as far as like because I don't think we've really seen too much about what's coming out for that, right?
No, I'm assuming maybe we have seen these pops in like rumored sections and
With
have
different
no
stickers.
idea. Well, yeah, with different
Yeah.
stickers. We just don't know that, oh, these are actually for the con. Like, because it's weird there hasn't been much chatter about it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, that's one of the lines that like I think, it could be cool, could be exciting. Are we gonna get a bunch of sodas? Sometimes we get sodas revealed that
That
drop
con's
through
normally pretty
FunCon.
small.
And it's not usually a ton of volume, yeah, but hopefully what they do drop is like at least quality, something that like is something we may want to go after or whatever. Um, we also had some NFT news.
Oh
So
yeah.
it seems like it's been a little bit since some new NFTs dropped. This week we are going to get another drop. So that is the 9th, which is Tuesday, like they normally drop. And what do you think about this line?
I mean, I'm a pretty big fan of it. It's gonna be Avatar: The Last Airbender, Nickelodeon show. It makes sense. This is a huge line for Funko. And it's just funny, like going back. I remember talking about this when like the Nickelodeon line came out for NFTs. They're missing some of their biggest properties, this and SpongeBob being one of them. And people are like, why aren't they in it? This is clearly why. Like, I'm sure we're gonna get a SpongeBob one. The big properties they kind of want to have on their own. I also
Yeah.
think we've said this before, but like I feel like there's still people who haven't joined the NFT craze, which is hard to believe at this point because they're so hard to still get. I think it's going to bring more people. I've been seeing people talk like, I haven't got any NFTs yet, but I'm getting these. Like,
Yeah.
and I know this isn't like an anime, but
Yeah.
some people who still
Closest
really
thing
are
to
into
right now.
anime, like they like
Yeah, they're still
Avatar: The Last
Avatar
Airbender.
fans. Yeah,
And I think
exactly.
that they're gonna hop on those fans are gonna hop on this too. I think it's gonna be hard to get.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's popular enough amongst, some true anime fans and just fans in general and kids and people. There's definitely fans of Avatar Last Airbender. It's obviously a big deal. The pops always are very popular. They always sell. The con ones, exclusive ones are always like a big deal. Usually values on them go up. So it's definitely something that is got enough of an audience out there and people that want it. The only thing I kind of like was a little bit like kind of like about
The
is
Freddy,
the Freddy. Like we already
I
have that as a
agree,
Freddy.
and
Like
it
come on, like that was a
just
little
happened.
Yeah, I think the timing maybe wasn't meant to be like that because I don't think they purposely would do it back to back like that. But yeah, I mean, if you guys don't know, obviously with SDCC and well, not even SDCC, specifically the Fun Days, we did get well, yeah, it was it was the
Yeah.
Fun Days event, like the actual event. We got right or
No,
did
no, you
yeah,
could have gotten in the
Aang. No,
box.
Aang was
Anyone
in the
could have got
box.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So the Aang at Freddy as Aang was one of the versions that released in the box. And now for this, obviously the Freddy is always the royalty one. When you collect all the different cards, you can redeem them for the royalty. Is Freddy is Aang again? It's a little different kind of a pose, but I mean, I get it in the sense that like obviously Aang would be the most popular one, and it makes sense that Freddy
Think of
would be
Freddy.
that. But it's just weird that a Freddy version of him just dropped for the first time because everyone's like, "Oh my god, we're finally getting a Freddy." You know, even though like you said, it's not really anime. It was kind of like, "Oh my god, Freddy as an anime character was kind of a big deal," and now we're getting another one. So it's like, is that like cool? They're getting two, or are people going to be kind of like, I've heard kind of mixed reviews, but I feel like most people have kind of been upset that we're getting them back to back, but it's still cool that we're getting, this as NFTs and the rest of the cards. I'm sure will be cool. It doesn't seems like it's a pretty decent size one too, with a good amount of redeemables. It's like not as small as
Yep,
the
the Jay and
recent
Silent
Jay and
Bob one
Silent
was really
Bob.
small. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's going back to normal. And I think it's mixed with like Avatar, The Last Airbender, and the Korra, which was like the spin-off show. So like I think they're both
which is
part
also
of
very popular at Funko.
yeah. So that's gonna allow there to be more. Part of me is like it would be pretty cool if they made like a Korra Freddy Funko, but like they've never made a girl character. I almost feel like at this point Funko needs to like maybe make a female uh mascot or just slap Freddy's
Mascot.
or just like a companion for Freddy or just slap Freddy's head on some, you know, female characters. Like
That would be
I've
kind of
never
funny.
I've never thought of that before, but you are like missing out on
It
some
does
like
limit.
cool
It does, yeah, it
properties
limits
that
you.
I've never
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
of. Like
it's true.
that's why they're in this predicament because not that there isn't tons of characters in Avatar: The Last Airbender, you'd have to be a pretty huge fan to like if there was another Freddy, like that's why like Aang's the one they went for. It's just like
Yeah.
they weren't like it's just he is like the face of that franchise.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it makes sense why it did it. That's what I was saying. Like, I feel like I don't know if the timing was supposed to be that they just dropped these exclusive Freddies and then this one comes out or announced. So it
The
is
one
interesting. I mean, granted that you won't get this pop even if you win it for another like 7, 8 months anyway. So at that point, it won't necessarily be back to back.
is
So
so
who
true.
knows?
It's so weird. I just my Star Trek ones have just shipped. And that was like the
Nice.
second line that I start. Like I feel like I've been collecting these Funko NFTs now for a while,
Oh
and
yeah.
I have not gotten
I'm
a
still
redeemable
waiting for the
pop.
Nickelodeon one.
Yeah,
I don't know when those are coming.
it's
I'm
funny though.
still waiting for
While we
my
are
Hey
talking about
Arnold.
NFTs though, which I feel like our fans are normally, they like hearing about. I will say I'm going to give props to Funko and Drop now because I know in the beginning we were kind of saying like they're really messing up these drops. Do they really care? And like they definitely have fixed it, in my opinion, and they've kind of squashed the bots. I've noticed in the past two drops, like it seems way more fair. I've gotten a chance to get in. I have noticed, which is probably the same in the past, but if you're on a Wi-Fi connection, you have a much better chance of getting them than if you're not. It's sometimes I don't know if it's part of the technology that they've made to kind of get rid of bots. If you're pinging on different like towers or whatnot, they because it now warns you like don't move your phone where you're at.
Yeah.
Like so,
Yeah, like if your IP address or something
yeah.
gets changed or mixed up, whatever, it
Which I know
kind of
stinks for certain people. Like I know some people are like, well, I don't have an any other opportunity. I'm at work and like I don't have a connection to Wi-Fi, and
yeah.
so that does stink. But I will say, like, they've definitely they've tried or been trying, and like I think they've succeeded to making it a lot more fair, which
I
I'm
agree.
happy about. Because it was getting so frustrating that it was just like this
Oh
is
yeah.
ridiculous, as everyone knows.
Yeah, I got a little too out of control. I mean, I know like it seems like you're still able to kind of get it from multiple devices and stuff like that. Seems like that's still a way of people getting
Yep.
more packs,
I mean, some people
than
still get,
your average person.
like,
10, 12
yeah,
packs,
like,
which is, like
you know who
a
you
lot
are.
more than
It's ridiculous.
your average person, but it happens. Um, I did want to talk about this real quick just because we haven't talked about it in a while, and I think it dropped before last week. And we didn't have an episode last week, but we did get another review of a new diecast. So
Oh,
we're gonna
yeah.
get another Marvel character. It's actually gonna be Thor. Looks pretty awesome. It's cool. Like, makes sense. Very cool. We're gonna, the Thor one adds, it's a third version of a Marvel character. But it's also going along the lines of having a chase. I know we only had two at the time, which were both Star Wars, which kind of made more sense, even though we don't like the chases, but like, the whole proto look and whatever. But now it's obviously the look they're going to do for every single chase, which I absolutely hate. We already didn't really like it. But now in this type of a character, I think it looks ridiculous. Thor being like the silver non-painted version is like a late, I don't know, I hate it. And it's like so much so that because I'm gonna try to get this, I'm gonna only get one, and if it happens to be the chase, I'm gonna be like mad that
Dude,
it
me
wasn't the
too.
common with color, which I think looks amazing.
I mean, I'm completely on the same page as you. I have no interest in these chases. I know we both went for the Boba Fett one in the beginning. Then when you realize it's exactly the same, like for the Vader one, I only got one, and I was
Yep.
praying for the common. Even though
Same.
weirdly, like the Vader chase is probably the best, just like looking. I don't know, it just fits that mold and character a little bit better. But
Oh,
this,
absolutely.
I mean, everyone knows we're huge Funko fans, and I love everything they do for the most part. But this is just a money grab, and like I hate with the bottom of my heart saying it, but that's all it is. No one really wants these, but like there's also the fear of FOMO. I actually think they're catering towards flippers a little bit because when people get these chases, there's someone out there who just, some people have a sickness, they need to have them all. Sometimes I feel like I'm that person, but I don't need this for my collection. They don't look
Yeah,
good.
no. I just don't think they look good.
I can go on a
I don't think
rampage
they look
over it.
good. The Vader one, like you said, yes, would probably be the only one that if I did get that one, I'd be like, it looks kind of cool because it's Vader, so you kind of think of him in a metal type of
Yeah.
thing, whatever. But like Thor, like come on, like that just doesn't. I don't know, it doesn't do it to me. And even if they were gonna go with a solid color look, maybe something else. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking with. I can't even give you an exact like excuse to why Funko did this as the chase versus like clearly a new mold or something was probably going to be out of the question because
Yep.
it's a die cast material. You don't want to go too crazy and pay money, whatever. Okay, cool. But like either don't do a chase, or if you're gonna do a chase, like figure out a different type of color. Cause I don't know, the whole like it's a non-painted, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
version.
It's what it
Um,
is.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't think but the regular one looks awesome. It does look cool. So that one, there's no date on that. I know that's been out for a
No.
little bit. There's
And
a
I think
rumor that
it's
it will
from the
be. I think it's
first
up on the site.
Thor movie, if I
Yeah, it's like an
remember.
older
Yeah.
looking
Which is
mold of
cool.
him.
Like
So
you don't have,
which is
there's not
cool.
many Thor pops that look this way. I'm like,
Yeah.
this
Or if they
one's
do,
pretty
they're
cool.
very expensive because some of those
Yes.
OG Thor pops are hard to get.
Yes, exactly.
So it's definitely a cooler one. It's just kind of adding more to the line. So now I kind of, at least we're going back. We had two Marvel, two DC, and then two Star Wars, and now we're going back to Marvel. So is it only those three lines that we're getting now? It seems like they're kind of stick to those. It is sticking enough to being somewhat exclusive. Like they're not
Yep.
going too crazy, which we did kind of agree that we would be happier them doing that. But it's interesting to see where they're going to go
What's funny,
forward.
I know this is a while ago, but when we were getting like heavy rumors, Black Panther one was rumored,
Oh yeah.
Falcon, aka now Sam Wilson's Captain America was rumored. No one was talking about a Thor one, which is now interesting that we're getting a Thor and we haven't seen those yet.
That's true. The
Which,
Black Panther one would be kind of cool though. So I guess we'll see if those were all real or if they really will be coming. Um, I think if they do the Sam Wilson Captain America, it's a little, I don't know, a little there should be a little bit more exclusive to like these bigger
yep.
name ones. But I mean, whatever. I guess we'll see if they're going to keep keep going with more of these. I mean that'll be a pretty cool if he has his wings open. I guess that'd be a kind of a cool mold in
No, I
diecast.
agree.
So I take that back. So that might be kind of cool. Um, but I think that was kind of the majority of.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
majority. It was
was
a ton. There was a ton
a
of
ton
stuff
of
that obviously
news.
dropped. I know there's a couple of delays. Just if you guys are, been looking for these pops, the Toy Story VHS pop cover
Yeah,
has been delayed and canceled. A lot of people, I know your order got canceled, so a lot of
yeah,
people's pre-orders got canceled. There is some kind of delay going on. Also a lot of the Funko Ween Disney the reveal stuff, some Simpsons stuff, the Nosferatu pop, the Blacklight Tiffany and Chucky 2-pack, which was supposed to come out, I think, from Hot Topic, I believe. That's been delayed. The Johnny Bench one, we talked about some of the baseball pops. I know in the last episode when we were talking with Trey about
yeah.
the Red Sox one that's coming out, Pedro Martinez. Obviously, David Wright came out, so there's supposed to be a Johnny Bench one too, but that's been delayed. So interesting stuff that there's a lot of Funko, like officially a lot of them that are getting delayed. We don't really hear about this too much. Sometimes you just get a pop here and there that gets canceled or saying something's going on, but it seems like there is kind of a issue going on, whether it's with manufacturing or shipping or whatever it may be. But there is a lot of stuff that is being
It's always
somewhat
worse
delayed
too
and
when it's
hopefully
a
coming out.
holiday pops, which is exactly what happened last year. So it's kind of like
Yes,
nor like the Toy Story one,
a
like
lot of the
it's
Halloween stuff has been happening out a lot. It happened
yes,
last year too, with
it's
Halloween specifically.
weird. So it's like not that I wouldn't still want it for my collection, but it's like, okay, it's fun to get it around Halloween. I don't really want a Halloween pop in like March. Like is
Yeah,
exactly like it's just interesting.
Like the
Yeah,
Freddy Vampire Freddy.
exactly. So random. Um,
So,
but yeah, I'm hoping we get some more holiday NFTs though of Freddy. Not to change, I know we're wrapping this episode up, but it just got me thinking of like the Freddy. Everyone thought, oh, that soda was maybe going to come out around the time they announced those Freddy Funko Halloween's NFTs, which that got us into the NFTs. They haven't done that
mhm.
really since. There's been like special Freddy ones they kind of drop in your account, or obviously every drop has a Freddy NFT, but not like a whole line of just Freddy. Like I'm wondering if they'll
Yeah,
do Halloween again.
I was gonna say I think it is interesting that they haven't done a whole line of Freddy's again with NFTs. I just thought about that. Like you said, yeah, every royalty you'll get a Freddy, which I think it's cool that they do. But getting a whole line of Freddy
I feel like
as
a
like a
Christmas
specific,
one would be good.
thing would be kind of cool. That'd be cool. Maybe that's what they're waiting for next. So maybe we'll get one of those announced coming up. But it's gonna be interesting now with the heat, like NFTs being even bigger. I feel like if around Christmas time we'll get more drops or different like versions and stuff.
Yeah.
Like even if they're not only just Freddy, maybe like a certain line, but it's holiday themed or whatever. So I guess we'll see. Keep a lookout. Let us know for sure what you guys think. Obviously, a bunch of different drops. Comment down below if you're watching here on YouTube. If you're listening over on our podcast, thank you guys so much for listening. But head over to the YouTube channel as well and make sure because especially specifically with these type of episodes when we're talking about news and drops, we do flash up pictures of
Yep.
these that we're talking about. So it's good to kind of see that. If you want to see exactly what we're talking about, definitely check it out on YouTube because you can actually see the visuals of these actual pops and things that are dropping. But that's going to be it for this episode. This one, again, was just strictly a bunch of news and Funko related things. We kind of just wanted to get it all out there, put our thoughts, what stuff we're excited for, but let us know your thoughts and what you're excited for on your end. But yeah, it's going to be it here. So, Charlie, you want to?
Yeah. And kind of just going off what Mick said, if you're listening on the podcast platforms, when you do come over to our YouTube channel, obviously please subscribe, but then also hit that notification bell. So like you will get
Mhm.
notified when we drop new videos because like we said, we have exclusive stuff just for the YouTube channel. Like I just recently did an NFT pack ripping of all of my Jay and Silent Bobs. If you haven't watched that, you should go check that out. That was a pretty exciting video for myself. Which you're just not, that's just not, we love the support on the podcast, but that's just the content that you just aren't going to get in that format. So once again, thank you for supporting us on both. And until next week, we'll see you later, guys.
Take it easy, everyone.